So let's start with the big, bold promise at the heart of this whole thing, getting you a banking job in just 30 to 60 days. I mean, that's a huge claim, right? So let's break down how they say it's possible, starting with the problem they're trying to solve. Okay, so what's the big hurdle here? Why is it so tough for so many people to break into the banking industry in the first place? Well, according to the source, it all comes down to a skills gap between what you learn in school and what banks actually need. See, here's the thing. A degree, it might get your resume a look, sure, but it's not the golden ticket. What banks are really looking for are people who get it, People who can step in and understand the day-to-day tasks from the get-go. It's all about being job ready, not just book smart. So, if your degree isn't enough, what is? Well, that brings us to the core of this whole system. It's all about bridging that gap with a very specific kind of training. They call it a proven training system. And that word, proven, is really the key here. The whole idea is to stop focusing on abstract theories and instead zero in on the concrete, practical skills that banks are actually putting on their job descriptions. And this slide just lays it all out, plain and simple. On one side, you've got the old way, slow, a bit of a guessing game. And on the other side, you have this system, which claims to cut that job hunt time in half. A hiring cycle that's 50% faster, that's a game changer. Okay, so how does it actually work? How do they build that kind of practical day one competence that gets you hired so much faster? The philosophy behind it is pretty clever. They're not trying to be another college class. Instead, they're basically copying the exact training that banks give their own new employees. It's all about learning by doing, not just listening to lectures. It's all broken down into this 4-step mastery system. First, they build up your confidence. Then you get your hands dirty with real-world tasks, things you'd actually do at a welcome desk or as a teller. After that, it's practice, practice, practice with mock interviews and case studies. And finally, you get a certification that's meant to make your resume pop. And the training gets super specific. You're not just learning vague banking stuff. You're learning the skills to be a great teller or what it takes to be a relationship manager. It's this focus on specific roles that really makes it feel practical. But, a system is only as good as its results, right? So let's look at the numbers. What does this training actually deliver for the people who go through it? Well, for starters, look at the scale. We're talking over 10,000 students. That's a pretty big sample size, which suggests they've got some serious data to back up their claims. And get this, after finishing, students apparently have an average job readiness score of 92%. Now think about that from a hiring manager's point of view. That's a candidate who can hit the ground running, saving a ton of time and money on internal training. And here's where it gets really interesting. They claim a 2 times higher success rate in interviews. That's huge. It suggests that what you learn actually translates directly into getting that job offer when you're sitting across from the recruiter. Of course, numbers are one thing, but what about real people? Well, the source material shares stories like this one from Aditi, and it really hits on those 2 big promises: speed, getting a job in just 42 days, and effectiveness, clearing that interview on the very first try. And it's not just for people fresh out of college. Take Priya, for example. She switched from retail to becoming a relationship manager. This is meant to show that it can be a path for professionals looking to make a big career change. Then you have a story like Deepa's, which is so important. She was restarting her career after a break, and for her, the biggest thing was getting that confidence back by learning real, valuable skills. So, you've got the system, you've got the results, but what if you're still not sure? Well, they back all of it up with a pretty powerful guarantee. Let's take a look. And the guarantee is really straightforward. If you go through the whole thing and you still don't feel ready for a job, you can do it all over again for free. No questions asked. Now, that's a lot of confidence in your own system. So when you look at all this, it's clear who this is for. It's for the freshers with no experience, yeah, but it's also for professionals wanting a change, for people restarting their careers, and even for those who've tried and failed at interviews before. The one thing they all have in common is that need for practical skills to get ahead. And all of this leaves us with one big question to chew on. When you see a model like this, you have to wonder, is this the new normal? As industries get more competitive, is this kind of hands-on, role-based training no longer just a nice-to-have, but the actual prerequisite for getting your foot in the door? It's definitely something to think about.